Hi Pisces, Spirit's having me double up on the Pisces reading. I was guided to get into another reading for you. I hope that everybody's doing well. Before we get into this, I would like to set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. I was thinking about doing the Pisces reading yesterday, and then today I was getting the messages again to do it. So here we are. Hope that you're having a lovely evening or day or afternoon, wherever this finds you. Okay, so we're starting off with the King of Wands and the Devil. You may have found yourself in a situation where someone that you felt drawn to, attracted to, maybe even a partner for some, there's a sense of needing to check someone almost, or maybe intuitively feeling like something was out of place or it wasn't okay. Maybe somebody was like being controlling with you, something like that, or for whatever reason something seems out of balance. Maybe even psychologically you felt like you needed to keep your guard up because something was happening that you didn't feel okay with. This may have been something more subtle, but then something happened that could have even surprised you. The Tower's on the bottom of the deck. In relation to the Devil, maybe you're working with a Capricorn. But we all have Capricorn somewhere in our chart, so. Yeah. I'm really seeing something that may have happened that you didn't feel okay with. I feel a lot of masculine energy coming off of this. We're talking about masculine energy not related to gender. But yeah, it seems like something out of balance. And it seems like someone may even have been like you may have felt magnetized or drawn to somebody, but something was going on that just didn't feel right. But this could have possibly even surprised you. Like maybe you had been going along and someone had been in your life and then all of a sudden something happened, or just like you got this like more visceral type of reaction, or intuitively you really felt something strongly. Because it feels like a strong reaction that you would have had to something, even if it was something more subtle. You could have picked up on something that you needed to be aware of. Yeah, a lot of masculine energy. I'm looking at the Emperor now. Yeah, to see the Seven of Swords with the Devil and also the Emperor, this can absolutely be someone that you could have felt like someone was attempting to manipulate you. For some of you, this can even be a shadow energy that pops up that has you feeling very drawn to things within the physical realm, like things that may not have a higher frequency attached to them. So it may have been, like, I mean, this can be anything. We're talking about like substances, foods, situations, conversations. But yeah, it seems like something may have presented itself in an appealing way, but in looking further at it, you're recognizing that it's not a frequency you want to be involved with. It's not something you want to be around. And that's why you may not have recognized it immediately, because you may have been like, ooh, I feel drawn towards this, so why is that happening? And then in like inspecting this further, there's a notion of being like, something isn't right here. For a lot of you, I'm seeing that this is a person. For some of you too, there could have been a situation and you're like, you feel like your shadow pops up and maybe you wanted to like control something or manipulate something and you're like, I don't want to be acting like that, or I don't want to do that. Or this could have been a situation that you were in with someone where someone was like controlling or like maybe using their charm to their advantage in some sort of way. But I'm seeing ultimately that this is something you recognize you're not going to be holding on to. This person may have some pretty strong like Capricorn and or fire placements within their chart. I'm hearing selectively, like maybe there are different times when you feel different like archetypes of energies that show up more. Seems like the lesson here is releasing this person from your immediate environment. Maybe you weren't trusting yourself too. It's like in thinking about it, and maybe even when you like have less of an attachment with this person, you're like, I really got to set boundaries with this person. But it's like until you do that, maybe this was something that like wasn't computing, like maybe you weren't trusting yourself as well to set boundaries. But it seems now like the lesson is learned. I'm seeing double Saturn here, so I'm getting definitely a highlight within that person's chart, maybe even a Saturn contact, a hard Saturn aspect that you have with this person. Maybe something going on with the 10th house. It seems too almost like the way that you transmute this energy is kind of meeting it with equal force, but doing it in a way where you feel like you're maintaining your integrity in interacting with this person and laying down what it is that you feel you need to lay down. Because it seems like as soon as you get over whatever this is that's happening, you're going to be making your way through a big lesson that's ending. And I'm seeing that this is all about like you really standing up for yourself and setting boundaries that need to be set. And knowing that you need to do this for yourself. And as I said before, with all the masculine energy that I'm picking up, masculine energy is about like how we take action, how we go about doing things, like in a simple form, in a simplified form. So this is about you stepping into that and being like, I am setting boundaries, these are my boundaries, this is what I'm doing, and really advocating for yourself in that way. Because I'm seeing this is like really about protecting yourself from something that you otherwise would have like gotten involved in and maybe been, I don't know, like dancing with this person's karma. And there's a sense of like pulling yourself off the dance floor here. That's what this feels like to me. And it feels very much like you're triumphing because you're following your intuition as well. This could have been a type of cycle that repeated itself, but it feels very much like you're trusting yourself more here. And because you're following your intuition, I'm seeing that it's almost like you could have felt like you were in somewhat of a puzzling situation, something that felt difficult, maybe somewhat elusive, like you couldn't really figure out what exactly was going on at certain points, and like, what is the point of this? Why am I involved in this? And it feels kind of like your intuition tapping you on the shoulder and whispering in your ear, like how to get out of this maze, how to find your way out of this puzzle, how to solve it. And because you're following your intuition, I'm seeing that it like leads you out of it. I'm hearing using your intuition as a driving force. The Six of Cups just fell over the world. As I said before, this may have been a recurring cycle that you were experiencing. Something that you could have experienced in the past, something that is coming up now for a reason, because it's all with purpose. And something that you're completing, because the Six of Cups is tipping upside down, so that would mean getting to the point of being prepared to move on from something that you absolutely have like had history with, and now getting to the end of this. So it feels like wiping your hands clean of this situation finally is what I'm hearing. Looking at you here on the bottom of the deck. It may have been hard because you could have like had like a deep familiarity or resonance with this person. But you recognize it's finally time to let this go. It's finally time to move on. This could have also felt like something that kept like pulling you, dragging you into the past as well, to like repeat this thing over and over again. It's like a dance that kept happening. Kind of feeling, it's a notion of feeling kind of even stuck in a loop with someone. And I'm seeing that this was difficult too, because there definitely could have been feelings involved as well. It's like you have love for this person, but this is about too recognizing that like if we use like love as an excuse to stay in a harmful situation, then what actually is it? Like, are we still going to be calling it by the name of love? And we recognize too that we can love someone and still create boundaries with them. And sometimes we can love someone and not have them in our lives either, and still be able to be like, yeah, I have love for that person. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need to walk away like angry or feeling a type of way about it. But this is about like finally stepping up and setting boundaries in a quite difficult environment to be doing that. But there's a sense of not wanting to be chained to a situation anymore. And knowing that you don't have to be. You could have even been maybe even feeling like you were helping somebody in some type of way and been like, well, I need to be there because I need to help them. And it really does feel like being able to hold on to that sense of love. And because we're getting so deeply into this and we're focusing it inward, it helps you kind of recognize how you want to maneuver in this situation. So this isn't just like love of another person at the detriment of you. This is about you loving yourself and you loving another and stepping out from something that you recognize is unhealthy for you to be involved in. And I will say this, and all of us have Pisces in our chart. I have a huge Pisces stellium. I have like more Pisces pretty much than anything in my chart. Pisces, when it's in its shadow energy, it's like, I will give up anything for love. I will die for what I love. And it's always like at the detriment. It's like being the martyr in the name of love. And so this feels very much like recognizing something that may have been happening that was absolutely out of balance, absolutely part of the shadow, and maybe dealing with codependency or like wanting to be the helper, wanting to be the savior, something like that, and being like, I can take it. But there's a sense of, yeah, that's what this feels like. There's a sense of seeing through that facade, seeing through that illusion, seeing through the Maya. I'm hearing because sometimes we get caught up in roles and those roles become convoluted. It's like when we're in situations and we see it as being like the victim and the savior and the perpetrator, and we get in that like triangular motion that we move through, there's a sense of losing ourselves within that. And it's a pattern that we don't have to play within if we don't want to. And at one point of time, you could have been in a situation with this person and be like, I see our future and I see it to be very happy and very fulfilling when it comes to love. And there's a sense of recognizing maybe that this instance is maybe what has kept you from feeling this. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, that feels very much like a moment of being like, I was doing this so because like for the sake of love and fulfillment. And then there's a sense of being like, it's actually what I've been stopping myself from having because of remaining in this situation. I'm also hearing triangle. But I mean, a triangle can be like these different roles that we play within a scenario with someone. It doesn't necessarily mean a third party, although it absolutely can be. And maybe too, some triangulation that was happening as well. So many different ways to break this down. But it just looks to me like you're really creating something for yourself, and this is something that you recognize you can't bring along. Maybe we're also understanding too, that other people, like people outside of ourselves, are meant to be carrying their own karma. So there's a sense of like taking someone else's bag of karma off your shoulder so you can continue on your way and do what you need to do. Because maybe too, you're recognizing things that you had been neglecting because you were like so focused on another person or like within the dance. But it feels like even though you were going through this situation, you've still been building things for yourself. I'm looking at like a highlight of this Aries energy here about like getting things done and like the passion behind what it is that you're doing and allowing these things that you've been learning. Like I'm hearing sage wisdom. I'm definitely seeing your energy as being one that's like people would look up to you and really respect you for what it is that like you've been building and what it is that you know and how you go about doing things and like your legacy, so to speak. And this is about really continuing on in these shoes, because I'm seeing like it kind of feels like something that you have built is already established. So this is about continuing to focus on that and build that for yourself. And there may be some new things that you're learning, some new things that you're studying too. And this may also be helping you as well pull away from that energy. Because it's not like we get to a point where it's like, yeah, I'm like such a high being, I'm such an enlightened being, so I'm never going to have to deal with these interpersonal things. We can be very far upon our path and a very elevated person and still have these little situations that come through like very subtly, that all of a sudden you're like, I'm in the middle of a dance right now and I didn't even realize that I was dancing and I don't want to be dancing anymore, and you excuse yourself off of the dance floor. But there's a sense of needing to recognize that, and it just kind of feels like you woke up out of something here, something that could have like very subtly been pulling you in. It feels like you got a type of insight that you'd been looking for. That's what this seems like to me. Like a clear type of vision that you had been looking for. Yeah, it just feels like something snapped into place that you'd been hoping for. And it's helping you continuously get closer to what it is that you want. So the guidance that I'm seeing, like, because it kind of feels like, okay, so all of this happened, so here we are, what happens now? I'm seeing the guidance be that like you are going to take action and make a decision, and not do this from a reactive place, but to do this from a responsive place of feeling like grounded emotionally, and then go about making your decision. doing this in a way that allows you to feel empowered because of this choice that you're making. And I'm seeing like kind of a clean slate type of vibe that's happening here. Capricorn, Aries. I am hearing Sagittarius, Saturn, Pluto, Venus, Uranus. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.